That's interesting.
What?
Women prefer to be overweight by 15 pounds, not underweight. No?
No, I think that's true.
Really?
Yeah. I think women prefer to be overweight by 15 pounds because it's acceptable to be curvy, but it's not acceptable to be too skinny or bony. If you're carrying a little bit of extra weight, it's curvy, it's voluptuous. But if you don't carry enough weight, you're considered like twiggy and
I don't think
too bony,
women think that
too
way,
scrawny.
though. Like, about themselves? Women think that way about themselves?
Okay, I think that we've had this discussion before. Women are taught to think this way about themselves. They're taught from a very young age. I think I read something today that said boys, as they're growing up, idolized superheroes, right? They wanted to be superheroes.
Or
Superheroes,
athletes.
right. Superheroes or in some sort of hero status, right? Like idolized because of the amazing things that they can do, right? Women are brought up to idolize dolls, Barbie dolls.
I think that's and this is just me, I think that's far too broad of a generalization, because I don't think people are grown up to idolize a doll or idolize a sports hero, or I think your parents and your sphere kind of dictate who you idolize.
I think that it's ingrained in you to, especially as a woman, to worry about your looks. Think back to the 50s, it started there. Like, you had to be the housewife who was still beautiful, but you could do everything. And I think that just continued and continued and continued, and is still continuing today. I just had a discussion with one of our daughters about that. Because as they were growing up, I told them, you need to look a certain way. You need to be presentable to the world. I taught them that because I know that if you don't look a certain way, there's certain places that you won't be accepted into. So yeah, women are taught not so much about their brains first, it's about how they look first. On the other side, men are taught to be physical and domineering and save the world and idolized and powerful.
But again, I don't think that's. I understand what you're saying, right? I hear that we parents condition our children to behave a certain way, right? But if you were to start over, if you were to start, and we have our first kids tomorrow, what would you teach them? Would you teach them that they should present themselves to society a certain way? Or would you say, be who you're going to be?
I realistically, I think I would teach them to present themselves to society a certain way.
Okay.
Because it doesn't matter. You can try to teach people, and it's very important that women understand that their strength lies in not only their looks, but their smarts, their personality, all of those things that make a woman a woman. But to think that your looks as a woman don't matter it's wrong. It's wrong. I live every day worried about my looks because I am not America's standard of what's considered beautiful.
Well, I disagree, but I understand. I'm biased. How do you will never, I feel like when you approach things that way, you're fighting a battle that is never winnable. You're never going to achieve the thing that you seek. You're never going to be, by everyone's standard, beautiful. So why are you trying to be?
It's just ingrained in us.
Right, but by who is that's where I was going. Like, who ingrains this?
Realistically, it starts in elementary school.
You don't think the parents have any say? It's
I
all
absolutely
peers?
believe that the parents have things to say. Like, without going too deep into it, yeah. I mean, you know my history. In foster care, I was dressed up and presented on stage.
Right.
I had the pretty dresses and the hair was done, and I was taught to be that way. And then when I got, into a later stage in my life, it was too much. Then I was too pretty. I wasn't supposed to be that way because now I was also very social, and that came along as, being too flirty and too out there. And so that was wrong. And, You know, it's all surrounded by your looks and your personality. I can't take that away from people because that's literally a part of society. Yes, I do believe that you can be yourself, and there are certain people that are going to be able to be themselves and make it. But there is no way to get away from your presentation as a person, and the effort that you put into yourself and your looks as a woman is going to take you in one direction or is going to take you in the other.
I think we disagree.